All right, let's dive right into this explainer and completely demystify the MJE13007. If you've ever cracked open a power supply or just stared at a high-voltage circuit board, there's a really good chance you've seen one of these. It's an absolute powerhouse of a component, and it's fundamentally crucial to how things like switch-mode power supplies, electronic ballasts, and chargers actually work. But how exactly does this little guy handle all that power? And maybe more importantly, what do you do when it fails? We're going to break all of that down today. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to meet the MJE13007, check out its specs and pin configuration, figure out exactly how the transistor works, see it in action powering switch mode supplies, and finally, talk about choosing the right replacement. All right, part 1. Meet the MJE13007, our high-voltage hero. 700. That is a massive number, right? We're talking 700 volts. That's the immense collector-based breakdown voltage this tiny little TO220 package can withstand. It's crazy when you think about it. It perfectly illustrates the juxtaposition of its small physical size versus its immense power capability. We're talking about a component that comfortably sits right on the tip of your finger, yet it's designed to manage the intense electrical forces you'd find in offline power systems. So the most crucial thing to wrap our heads around here is that the MJE13007 is fundamentally a BJT, a bipolar junction transistor. Unlike other devices that might rely on voltage, this three-terminal device uses a tiny base current to control a much larger collector current. It is driven by current, and this is a vital fact we've got to keep in the back of our minds to prevent catastrophic circuit failures later on. Moving on to part 2, specifications and pin configuration. Let's look at the anatomy. Look at these typical ratings for the on-semi version of the component. We're looking at a 400-volt collector-emitter sustaining voltage, a continuous collector current of 8 amps, and a whopping 16 amps of peak collector current, plus 80 watts of power dissipation at room temperature. But hey, keep in mind, these are absolute maximum ratings. You wouldn't drive your car at the red line all day, right? Same thing here. In a real circuit, you always want to operate with appropriate safety margins, strict thermal management, and of course, verify these specs with your exact manufacturer's datasheet. Okay, for the standard TO220 package, the physical pin layout is pretty classic, but you really need to know it. Pin 1 is the base, pin 2 is the collector, and pin 3 is the emitter. Oh, and that metal tab on the back? That's tied right to the collector as well. But, and this is a big but, never just assume this pin out based on the part number alone. Manufacturers love to switch things up sometimes depending on the specific version, so you must always check that datasheet before your soldering iron gets hot. Section 3. How the transistor works, the heartbeat of the circuit. To truly understand its role, think of the MJE13007 like a ridiculously fast mechanical valve. It's essentially the heartbeat of a power supply, engineered specifically for high voltage, high-speed, inductive switching. This isn't just some passive component sitting there looking pretty. It is violently slamming off, on, literally thousands of times every single second. Let's break down those two states of that heartbeat. In the off state, when there's insufficient base drive, the base current is basically zero. The transistor acts like a brick wall. It completely blocks current, acting like a closed valve, preventing energy from passing through the primary winding. But the second the driver circuit feeds it enough base current, boom, on state, it opens the floodgates, conducting from the collector to the emitter, and allowing energy to dump straight into your transformer. Which brings us to Section 4, powering switch mode supplies. Let's see this application in action. Because this little guy handles such crazy high voltage and current and switches so incredibly fast, you'll find it everywhere. We're talking switch mode power supplies, AC to DC converters, electronic ballasts, battery chargers, high voltage inverters, even motor control and relay driver circuits. It is a seriously versatile workhorse. Let's walk through exactly how this plays out in a typical offline switch mode power supply. First, your AC mains voltage gets rectified into high voltage DC. Next, a controller fires up a high-frequency drive signal. Then, the driver circuit hits the MJE13007 with that critical base current we talked about. The transistor snaps on, and current blasts through the transformer's primary winding. Then instantly, the transistor snaps off. The magnetic field in the transformer collapses, transferring that energy over to the secondary winding. And after a little more rectification, you've got your stable DC output. And remember, it's doing this entire 6-step dance thousands of times a second. Mind-blowing, right? I really want to hammer this point home. The MJE13007 is a BJT, not a MOSFET, so it requires appropriate base drive current. Seriously, if you only take away one thing from today, let it be this. Do not treat this component like a voltage-controlled MOSFET. If you ignore its specific base drive requirements and try to drive it with voltage alone, you are on a one-way train to a blown circuit. It needs current to operate. All right, final section, section 5, choosing the right replacement. A bit of a cautionary tale. So, the magic smoke has escaped, your circuit is dead, and you desperately need a replacement. The catch? The original onsemi MJE13007 is actually often listed by distributors as obsolete these days, so you're going to need an equivalent, and there's no single universal one. But don't panic, here's a practical shortlist. If you want a direct substitute, the MJE13007G is a fantastic 5-star choice. The STMicroelectronics ST1307 is also top tier. From there, you've got the FJP1307H as a solid family alternative, or the MJE1309 if you suddenly need a bit more voltage headroom. The BUJ105 is out there too, but you really got to check your specific application requirements for that one. Now listen up, because this is a classic trap. You might think, hey, I'll just grab a replacement transistor with an even bigger voltage or current rating and call it a day. No, don't do that. That is a dangerous mistake. What actually matters here are the switching characteristics. The turn on and turn off times, the fall time, the switching frequency, the DC current gain, the specific base drive requirements, and the safe operating area. If those don't line up perfectly with your circuit's design, I don't care how high the voltage rating is, that new transistor is going to perform terribly or just instantly blow up. Speaking of things blowing up, if your original MJE13007 literally exploded in a switch mode power supply, you cannot just drop in a shiny new one and plug it into the wall. You absolutely have to play detective first. Check the snubber network, inspect the startup circuit, test those driver components, verify the transformer, the feedback loop, the rectifier. If you don't investigate exactly why the original component failed in the first place, your 5-star replacement is just going to be the next victim. So, I'm going to leave you with a crucial diagnostic question for your next repair session. If your transistor failed, did you actually remember to check that snubber network first? Dig deep into those surrounding circuits. Always respect the insane amounts of power these tiny components juggle every day. It really makes you wonder what other unseen forces are at play in the electronics sitting on your desk right now. Keep double-checking those data sheets and keep exploring.